What are the issues today that are blocking the full realization of enterprise identity ROI? Can you give us a rough sense of what are the key hurdles right now?
So Ivan, let me first cover, the approach that we take and we recommend to our customers, and then I will address your questions in the next slide.
That would be great.
So see, when we, go to our customers, right, like we take a four-pronged approach, to make the IAM transformation and automation, I would say, much simpler and effective, right? So the first thing is, about having the right strategy and creating the right roadmap, right? When I say right strategy, it's not about having strategy in the mind, but creating the strategy based on what is your objective and simplifying and putting some realistic timelines and an approach to it and clearly defining a roadmap, right? That roadmap could be short term to long term, right? It could be a year, 2 year to 5 year roadmap. So that's the first important aspect, and that's what we do. We take the strategy first approach, right? So that's step number one. The second is, how we can help customers to accelerate the adoption of the IAM solutions that they have already, purchased or they have already started the journey with, right? The important aspect is that, how tools or how various different approaches or processes can help organizations to have accelerated adoption of the next gen IAM platform. So that's number two. Number three is, we have, a very unique solution called Identity Management Center. And it's a unique identity orchestration and a service management tool which helps organizations to in different phases, right? It helps write, post the strategy when you start on your journey for integration and implementation. It helps you with, onboarding, accelerated application onboarding, migration toolkit, and certain automations. And then as you enter into your BAU phase, it helps you to have centralized monitoring, reporting, dashboarding, right? So that's number three. And then, number four is primarily around, how we can help customers with automation, right? Specific identity automation, right? We all know that organizations, while they spend multi-million dollars on next gen solutions, both from licensing and services perspective, they are still not able to reap the entire benefit because they are not able to automate. They are not able to automate beyond a point, right? For example, I'm talking about the legacy applications, right? There may not be a use case to actually build the custom integrations, right? And certain data validations when you are doing the disconnected applications, right? Test automation. When you do hundreds and thousands of application onboarding, you will need a mechanism and an automation to do test automation, right? So these are certain focused areas which we take to, help in the identity automation. With that, I would like to move to the next slide and articulate and answer Ivan's question around certain challenges that we see. Now, as you can see, I have highlighted, seven key challenges that organizations typically face, right? And you can see that, how it answers Ivan's question, right? So largely, we have seen organizations where they start on the IAM transformation journey, but they do not have a migration and coexistence strategy. We cannot think that we take a next gen solution and then we can just, because it's not a green field, right? You have a parallel environment which is running, and then you are bringing a new environment, And there has to be a coexistence phase, right? Which is very important from a transformation perspective, where the old environment, ramps down and the new environment takes up from a functionality perspective. And that is where, the strategy of how you will approach this entire program is very important, right? So that's one of the pain areas I have seen where organizations start, but they do not have a solid strategy around migration and coexistence. The other aspect that I have seen is a lot of these migration processes are manual and time consuming, right? The third aspect is, we see organizations, even though they are on a next gen IAM solution, but they are still spending millions of dollars in provisioning, manually, right? Like, and even if they have automated the request management piece of it, they are still doing the provisioning in a disconnected fashion, right? And that's a problem, right? So that's number three. We also see that, when organizations start on this journey, and large organizations that we work with have thousands of applications, right? Hundreds and thousands of applications. Now, collecting requirements, creating backlogs, right, for the teams to come and do onboarding is a big pain area. Now, how can we automate that, or how can we, create a self-servicing capability, right? So that's is something that we learned over time, and we have tried to solve this problem. The other thing is, you have collected the requirements, you have a process to collect, you have a tool to collect, you have done service, you have brought self-service capability. But what about, creating a factory to onboard these hundreds and thousands of applications? We cannot treat application by application if we have to really address that large scale that we are talking about to achieve the ROI. And that's where the application onboarding factory, both from a process perspective and the tools, come into play. And you will see as we progress that how we help our customers. The sixth point is around, automation. As I highlighted in the previous slide, automation around testing, data validation, and others, right? That's another pain point. And the last is, from a high level perspective, is when you are into the BAU phase, right? Are you able to do some proactive monitoring for your entire identity landscape? I'm not talking about just IGA. I'm talking about IGA, access, spam, and all the identity solutions centrally. Are you able to monitor the functional aspects centrally to from a proactive perspective? Are you able to create audit reports and help the auditors, right? And are you able to create custom reports from all these different IGA, access, and PAM in one central solution, right? So these are some of the pain points. And as I said, it depends on which phase of the program you are. These issues pop up, and organizations may be facing few of these at different point in time.